Hey guys, so in this video I kind of want to look at the movement of strikers or any goal scorers and not really focus so much on the strike, but the release or the movement leading to the strike. So first let's look at Harry Kane. And from this angle. So I mentioned before in a couple of videos that I've been trying to shoot like Harry Kane, and a lot of times I find the strike itself is really good. So just to go over just briefly, the basic mechanics what I found with Kane is, generally he has his like plant foot pointed to the side here, and as he comes, kind of like bends over and keeps the hip open, and either hits with the laces he wants more power, or more the instep and kind of like you know brushes the ball up to just give it a bit more dip so it goes into the bottom corner. Here it doesn't go quite bottom corner, but it does dip quite a bit. Here Harry Kane does a stutter before he takes a shot. Just like a lot of times he does his penalties, he takes a lot of stutter steps before he makes his final strides. So as Harry Kane goes, you see he takes the touch, and then here, see there, just it's kind of like almost like a stutter like that. So see here, like if you wanted to take it, like be committed to taking the next the shot for the next stride, generally his left foot would be about here. You'd want to be a bit closer to it, but you see he kind of goes a little short because I guess he wants to because a lot of times the defenders are anticipating when he might take a shot and try to get a block on, but that stutter just throws him off a little bit, and then he can do his strike. So I find this kind of strike, it's a lot more helpful when you have a lot more space. I find when Harry Kane shoots this way, he generally needs a bit more space. He's not like dribbling in tight spaces or cutting inside and then hitting it. And I find it's quite difficult to hit it this way. If you're like facing more to the side, you at least need to be facing the net a little bit and not going too fast. So even though like I've been trying to practice hitting it this way, the only couple times I scored with Harry Kane, shot was like, say there was a defender here, and he gave me a little bit more space because I was having a look at like one of my players, like almost pretending like I was going to do a little lofted pass into the box, and then I saw this little gap that the defender was leaving and leading into the bottom corner. So just like hitting it with Harry Kane and kind of like hitting it across my body, like it was hard for the defender to anticipate where I was going to hit it. He thought maybe I was going to probably loft it in, but hit it into that little pocket of space and into the goal. So that's just one way of scoring goals. Now let's look at this goal with Messi. So you see Messi oftentimes, cuts in with his left foot and then shoots on net. But just to look at it a bit more in detail, see as he takes the ball, see that this defender kind of steps out. So, Messi actually kind of does a feint and avoids him. But what's even more is, a lot of times when he cuts in, sometimes when I train myself and like it's just like a cone, and it's by myself, I'm just gonna hit it, bottom corner or up or top corner. But I might just do a feint and cut it inside and just casually run or even run fast and hit it. But a lot of times, like unless you make the defender unbalanced, he's not really willing to commit. A lot of times he's just kind of just ready to like get the shot blocked or wait for you to cut inside and try to get a tackle. So a lot of times when I find, and also we'll look at Messi and Robben, who does this a lot, cutting in. You see, like he does like almost like these mini feints or these mini shots. So it's kind of subtle to see here, but see, like after he takes the touch here, like a lot of times Messi might even like crisscross his foot in. You see, bring his arm out and then do a. It almost looks like he might shoot right there and then before taking another step and then taking the shot. So when you do these little mini fake shots or these like mini feints or mini crisscrosses rather, a lot of times the defender is trying to anticipate when you're going to shoot, so he might leave a gap one side or the other. So That's your opportunity to strike the ball in either space that he leaves. Here's a better example of doing a bunch of mini feints and fake shots before scoring. So you see when Messi like cuts inside, and he's not like exactly taking out on a player and beating him 1v1 and going past him. I find usually at this area of the field, defenders aren't really inclined to go to you, and then you can potentially beat them 1v1, especially if they know you have some skills. A lot of times they just want to stay in that area and be coordinated and stay tight, so they can get a shot blocked. So as you move across, it's not so much going on 1v1 unless he gets too close to you. It's more like almost trying to find that like opening so where you can like take a shot into that slot and get it on net. So you see as like Messi like goes across here. You see how he like almost stutters, and it's kind of subtle to see, but he kind of crisscrosses that right foot in to almost see like almost he's gonna shoot on net like this. And then again, that's another potential. See, he has all the space. You see this defender here. He's like leaning over to go towards Messi and get a shot blocked, but you see like get a little stutters, little fake shots to open up the space, and you see the defender like commits and dives, and then again all the space to shoot on net. And also we can look at Arjen Robben's way of cutting inside and getting his opportunity to strike at net. So again, as I mentioned with Messi, it's not so much coming in, cutting inside, and you just walk or run casually, even with pace, and then taking a shot on net. Unless, of course, you do a feint and the defender is completely off balance, and you just want to simply get the shot off. But generally, there's a defender or even 2 or 3 defenders trying to track and get a block on. So here, Robben comes here, does a little mini feint there, mini feint over here, and then a little stutter with his left foot before feinting, going to the inside. Now he kind of beats this defender here, so he has a little bit of space here, but even then, a lot of times when you do that, you still need a little bit of time to take a shot. So like, as you take a step, you need to wind up and then take a shot down. So that gives an opportunity for the defender to get a block in. So of course he has a lot of space to get the shot here, but defenders can get a block in since they might expect for a shot to happen here. So you see here, it's kind of subtle, but you see that hip kind of opens up. But I don't know what Robben sees, but sometimes the defender might be inclined to like go into this direction a bit more to get a block in, but instead he fades and comes up to the outside here, and then that's where he picks his moment as he sees the gap to shoot. Here's another example with Robben cutting in the inside and picking his moment to shoot. So it's really this moment after he takes a touch to the inside where I really want to focus on kind of doing these like mini fake shots and opening his hip. So after he takes his touch here, he could potentially get that shot off, but you see the defender is kind of like anticipating this shot and ready to block it. But as he opens that, see, kind of opens that hip like this, like he's gonna wind up and shoot, but instead takes another step and then another touch before doing his shot over here. I also want to look at Lewandowski. It's kind of interesting because he's not like dribbling around the box and shooting. A lot of times he's just doing what seems like simple finishes inside the box. But these kind of movements aren't that simple because a lot of times you'll hear coaches say, "Oh, there's like a defender here, you kind of move, between them and then move out and then get the pass and score." But it's not that easy because anybody can learn this. There's a lot of subtle movements. So one way is changing the angles. Moving your body from facing one way to the other. So the shot comes at a different angle with respect to where your body is, and also looking at the posture of the defenders. Actually, I do this a lot more with dribbling rather than focus on my move. Just to give you an idea, like I just see how the defender's positioned, where his hips are pointing, and where his legs are, and that's mostly where I focus on. And I think with goal scoring, when you're in the box, it's not just looking at these like defenders as just these static pieces. You kind of want to look at their posture, how they're like angled, how they're positioned with their legs. So let's see this simple goal with Lewandowski. So see, as the ball comes here, like you can't see here, it's cut off, but it looks like Lewandowski was about to use his right foot to hit it in, but you see the goalkeeper's reaction here. He's kind of ready to dive in, like trying to anticipate where it's going to go. No, there's still a high probability that it could go in, but you need to, since the goalkeeper is ready to like pounce on it, you need to be a bit more precise and get it really pinpoint in the bottom quarters, especially if the keeper is quite decent. So you see here, he kind of like shifts over and then hits it with his left. It's like he almost like, well, he does lose balance as he hits it with the left. So it's these subtle things here that Lewandowski does that can make him a potent finisher in the box. It's not simply just standing where the space is and then not really thinking and just tapping it home. Another thing I noticed Lewandowski does is a lot of times he feints a lot. Again, he typically isn't making all these runs and dribbles, but in this case he scores outside the box, but even in the box he does a lot of the similar things. So as Lewandowski puts it to his right foot, you see he does a little feint with his left. And then you see again, what's interesting here, he does another feint with his left, and then that step is where he takes his shot. So a lot of times players might not even feint, they might just maybe see the opening and then they just shoot like they normally would, like it with like no players around. But I find like Lewandowski makes every step count, and then he picks his moment. So like before with Messi and Robben cutting inside, doing little mini fake shots and crisscrossing to finding the space to like slot it through. Here, Lewandowski, a lot of times he changes his body shape, and then in this case, also these feints here, and then strikes it home. Okay, now let's look at this goal that looks a bit scrappy, but we can see these subtle movements Lewandowski does. So as you saw, Lewandowski, initially hits the keeper, and then from the ricochet hits it in. But what I really want to notice is like this subtle body movement. See, as soon as he comes here, he's ready to hit it into the net off the rebound, and this is a result from like kicking it. He's kind of pointed there, but you see at this point you would be prepared to take the next shot. So generally you might face towards the net immediately, but you see he sees these two defenders here. See, as he comes onto his body, you see he continues to come and turn over to the right like this. So defenders are kind of positioned to go in this direction a bit more. I don't know if you can notice, but looking at their posture and their movements, they're kind of going a bit forward and a bit more to the side before Lewandowski, you see how turned his body is over to the right. Just taps it home with the inside of his boot. So yeah, again, it's very important, I think, to know these subtle movements. These little feints and turning your bodies to so the defenders can just give you that little bit of space so you can tap it home. And here's another goal by Lewandowski. Okay, so you notice how Lewandowski is facing a little bit more to the right as his teammate has the ball. Okay, now he's facing a bit more to the middle as than from before. But as he comes down, you see how he kind of like almost like this little shoulder drop and faces more to the middle. See, this defender like is anticipating him either like taking a touch or taking a shot. So, he kind of leaves this gap as he sees Lewandowski face towards the inside with his shoulder dropped, and then he faces down here and just takes a shot. As he goes towards the ball. I find like a lot of players, they don't really think about these subtle movements. As soon as they see the ball released, they just go straight here and are already thinking about just taking this shot. But, it's also about seeing, the defender's posture and, trying to create a little bit of space for yourself. So I've been looking at all these strikers' movements, including Messi, because just I want to score more goals, but at the same time, a lot of Messi's goals, from in Barcelona come from these tiki-taka play, and for most teams don't play that way, so I got to find other magic ways of scoring.